Oh, guess who's in studio now? We're fired up today. Christie New Craig in the house. Christie, good to have you with us.
Thank you, John.
I'm fired up. Now, here's the deal. So Christie New Craig, you know her if you're in Chesapeake because she is the chairwoman of the Chesapeake School Board, one of the biggest school boards as far as numbers of dollars they manage in the Commonwealth. And she's been on the school board for 2 terms and knows what she's doing. She's done a fabulous job there, and she's gotten elected twice. She's also the legislative assistant for a very long time for my state senator, John Cosgrove, and so she spends a lot of time in Richmond. But so all that being said, you say, what, is she up for school board re-election? No. Here's why I'm so excited she's in here. Because, see, Christie was one of the first elected officials, along with Robert Ike, in America, not just Chesapeake or Virginia, America, United States of America. She was one of a handful of the first elected officials, along with Robert Ike in Chesapeake, Steve Skoptanek in New Hampshire, House of Delegates member there, the treasurer in Arizona, can't think of his name. There was just a handful of people, okay, that were Trump supporters from the beginning, that were elected officials that put that on the line, and Christie was one of them from the first day. She has been there with us in the movement. She put her career and everything right on the line. Now her boss, Senator Cosgrove, came a little late to the party, but that's okay. But she was for Trump when her boss was not a politically good thing to do when you have a boss. She was also running for school board, not a good thing to do, but she didn't care because she said to me, look, it doesn't matter about me. We have to save America. That's come first. So she's here today. Now she's running for revenue commissioner in Chesapeake, and it'll be decided in a primary along with the governor and everything else on June 13th. I was excited to have her in. She has offered me the opportunity to be the chairman of her campaign, which I've accepted enthusiastically. So I am the chairman of her campaign. So full disclosure there. But I'm excited about it because, we have to stand behind the people in the movement that put their careers on the line, okay? Like I did, okay? I was the first person for Trump early, advertisers, listeners. I put it on the line for what I believed in, and so did Christie. And so that's why I stand with her for the commissioner of revenue. If you live in Chesapeake and you're a Trump supporter or you like what the president is doing, along with the other candidates you're going to vote for on June 13th, I want you to give serious consideration to voting for Christie New Craig for the commissioner of revenue in Chesapeake. And I'll tell you the other thing that's exciting about this is she's breaking up the old school, old guard establishment, do nothing entitlement cabal that has run Chesapeake since I've been there, that doesn't let you in, where people try to get in and they vote you out of the party because you don't do what they say. And you got a couple people that rule the thing with an iron hand and try to make all the decisions, all the things that we've been fighting for years. She is trying to come in and bust it open with a sledgehammer. Now, on that introduction, Christie, good to have you with us.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that nice introduction.
I'm excited about you running. In fact, first of all, I'm sick of these people trying to tell you what to do. Christie has an opponent in that race, somebody that has never done he's not even a Republican. The guy's not even a Republican, right? As far as I'm concerned, never seen him in anything, never showed up with anything. And now they think they're entitled because they have the backing of the power base, the political power base, but not the people. Tell us why people should vote for you, Christie, on June 13th.
Thanks, John. It's about the political party, the Republican political party. I've been involved in the party since 1998. I have worked in the trenches for every local elected official in Chesapeake, state level Republicans, national level Republicans. I came in the party in 1998, and in 2 years, I received the highest award that the Chesapeake City Committee member gives to any volunteer. I'm a dedicated person to the Republican principles. There's not another Republican that is running in this race that has the credentials that I have. That being said, with the political part, I have a diverse and background and qualifications. I started out in the Chesapeake Sheriff's Office in the late 80s. I became a senior deputy sheriff, went through the Chesapeake Police Academy in 1995 with Sheriff Jim O'Sullivan. Then I moved on to then Delegate John Cosgrove in the General Assembly. I just completed my 16th year in the General Assembly. The knowledge and the contacts that I have gained in the 16 years that I've been in Richmond, I'm going to bring back to Chesapeake. The Commissioner of Revenue's office in Chesapeake, the qualifications are just the basic, registered voter, so forth. You just have to be a good manager of your people. I plan to be the best manager of my people. I'm going to put competent and efficient people in place to do the job, and I'm going to let them do their job. I'm going to be a hands-on commissioner. I'm going to get out in the community and educate our seniors on our real estate tax relief program. We have a wonderful DNV Select that started in 2008 in Chesapeake, and there's several services that Chesapeake does not offer. I'm going to bring those services to Chesapeake and our DNV Select. I think the voters are going to be excited about fishing and hunting license that they can purchase and temporary boat registration. Also, they have a program called DNV Connect, and Chesapeake hasn't utilized that service since 2014. And what that does, it comes to the city where there's, we have our DMV in Chesapeake in the headquarters. We also have one in Greenbrier. We don't have one in our South Norfolk section of Chesapeake. We don't have a DMV in the Western Branch section or the Deep Creek section or the Indian River section. I'm going to bring those services to the community. And once or twice a month, have them come out so the citizens can benefit from that. The city of Portsmouth does it twice a month. I'm going to bring that service to our citizens.
Okay, so you have a lot of ideas, right?
Absolutely.
No question about it. And look, you've been a school board member for 2 terms in the city where we are now, and you've been the chairman of the school board also. And when you ran, the first time you ran a school board, the power of brokers here. You got to understand is everybody that's not involved in Chesapeake Republican politics. You got a handful of people that rule the thing with an iron hand, basically, and they want to dictate, who gets what, who gets the party nominees, and it's just top-down nonsense that drives me bananas. I mean, I'm a member. I go to the meetings. I mean, we had Scott Weldon come in one day last year, a good friend of mine, a young fella, wants to be a member. They voted him out because he was Scott Taylor's campaign manager. I mean, it's the kind of crap that drives me bananas. And by the way, none of these people were for Trump. I can tell you that. Not a one of them like Christie was. But this election, beyond the ideas you're going to bring to the table, and I think you're going to do a good job, the person's been in that job for, 30 years?
34 years.
Here's another thing, and I just got to say this on the air. I hope you don't mind. So this is John, not Christie, all right? So we got a guy that's in there 30 years, Ray Connor, right? Job pays $120. All right. So it's about $125,000 job. So it's a good job, good benefits, good pay. So I get this email from, I think it was Carol Dietrich, who's our chairman. And it starts off by saying, Ray Connor's retiring, and I want to thank him for his dedicated service to the community. And I'm like, I got through the first sentence, and I'm like, dedicated service? Guy gets paid $125,000 to do a job on behalf of the taxpayers. We put him in there. You ought to thank us for paying him. I mean, what do you mean his dedicated service like he's some kind of a public servant? You're a public servant when you're in the House of Delegates or the House or the Senate where you work 40 hours a week and get paid $18,000. That's a public servant, right? Ray Connor's not a public servant. He's a paid guy that got an office. So that just ticked me off. The whole problem with this thing is, thank you for your service. No, Ray Connor, you would be thanking me for paying your salary to do your damn job. So that aggravated me right off the bat. Look, we got to change this, Christie. We got to change its mindset that these, somehow somebody gets elected to something and they're a public servant and entitled when they're getting paid $125,000.
Absolutely. John, I have always been a hands-on public servant. I don't take anything for granted. I'm a hard worker. I'm enthusiastic, and I get the job done. I am a hands-on person. I want to be involved in the community. Listen, I'm a taxpayer's advocate as a Commissioner of Revenue. I'm going to assess the taxes fairly and equitably, but I'm going to go out there and educate the public on the Commissioner of Revenue's office. I've been walking for the last several weeks, and very few people know what the Commissioner of Revenue does. And why?
What does it do?
Well, we do a lot of things in the Commissioner of Revenue's office. We don't collect taxes. That's a good thing. But we assess individual and business taxes, personal property taxes. We issue business license, BPOL. and that was just due March 1st. We have about 18,000 businesses in Chesapeake. We administer special taxes on meals, lodging, cigarettes, rental equipment. We administer real estate tax relief program. That's going to be important to me because our seniors are the backbone to our community, and I want every senior to know about that service. Just putting it on the website, that's great, but I want to go out and speak to senior citizen groups and educate them on this program because, again, I am a taxpayer advocate for them.
So depending on where you are, you don't get your name until you're 4, 7, 9, 10, 11. You would be the 12th candidate down. How do you cut through that clutter?
It's always been my way of, I'm going to go out and meet every constituent. I'm going to walk the streets of Chesapeake. I've done it for 19 years. When I ran my first term in school board in 2010.
Chesapeake's really big, though. It's big. It's
I have
what's
a
the
big
biggest.
family.
It's big.
I have a big family. I'm a lifelong resident.
You know,
of
you
Chesapeake.
can go from the top of Chesapeake where we are now, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, if I throw a baseball in the wind, I'll hit Portsmouth. So we're on the northernmost part of Chesapeake in our studio, just before the Portsmouth line. If I got in my car and drove it all the way down to North Carolina, which is the furthest part, it'd take me 45 minutes, going 60 miles an hour. It's a big city.
It is a very.
How are you going to possibly walk it?
I've been walking it for 19 years. I know the area. I'm a lifelong resident of Chesapeake. I'm a Western Branch resident. I will never take anything for granted in this race. I've been walking the last couple weekends, talking to voters, talking to business people, getting some great ideas. 34 years in office is a great thing. I appreciate his service, but it's time for new eyes, new direction. I'm gonna streamline some services, but the one thing I will not take for granted are the voters. I work for the voters. I'm asking them to hire me for this job. Give me a chance. Give me 4 years. I'm an enthusiastic person. I love to meet people. I love to be out in the community. I have a vested interest in this city. I live, work, and raise my family here. I've been a good steward of the taxpayers' money since I took office in 2010. I'm very proud of my record on the school board. We've done some great things on the school board, and I'm not afraid to make the hard decisions. I will be a good listener. I will hear what the voters want, and I'm just going to be a very active public servant. I've always been like that.
You do realize that you're running against the entrenched Chesapeake power broker establishment cabal, and you're trying to split the whole thing open. I mean, that's a pretty daunting task, isn't it? Beating the cabal here.
Absolutely. I've never backed down from anything. My mother always said, always earn what you have to earn everything you want. And I'm ready to earn this. I'm ready to show the people that I am prepared for this job. I can do this job. I can put the right people in place. And yes, I've worked with these people for the last 19, 20 years. And I think people are ready for a change. With the election of Trump, like you said, I was supporting him when he was in the beginning.
When he was at 1%.
Yes, when he was at 1%. I have a bumper sticker on my car that's faded. I need to get a new one. And people said, I can't believe you're putting a bumper sticker on your car. Your tires are going to get slashed. Your house is going to get robbed. I said, I am an American. I want my country back. And that's what people want. And when people have been in office for 34 plus years, we appreciate their service. But I think it's time for new direction, new change, some new ideas, streamlining services. And I plan on being that commissioner.
Let's go to the phone lines. Joseph in Suffolk, if you're on the air.
All right, Christie, I love your heart.
Thank you.
And I was also a Trump person in the very beginning.
Welcome.
We got to stick together, man.
Absolutely.
People have short memories, and I have very long memories. Everybody knows that. People that were there. When we first started this campaign, Joseph, as you know, I mean, we couldn't get anybody to touch it. We were made fun of, mocked, and I reached out to a bunch of people.
Man.
I know you were there.
You still can't say you're for Trump. If I was talking to somebody at Walmart about Trump and somebody overheard me, they would think I was a racist or something. Still, even right to this day. So, the battle's not over. But once he starts, once people get hit in the face with it, they're going to open their eyes. All right, man.
Okay, let's see what we got here. We had a comment here from Brenda in Chesapeake says, why should I vote for Christie for a new job when I'm not happy with her current job?
Did she elaborate?
I asked her to elaborate. She did not.
Well, I assume it's probably my school board. I've been on the school board for 7 years. I think I've been a good steward of the taxpayers' money. I ran on being transparent. I also ran on making the best decisions for the schools. We are the Chesapeake school system, so a lot of people are talking now about redistricting, rezoning. I'm not afraid to make those hard decisions, but I'm going to make the most responsible decision. Right now, we have neighborhoods that City Council are approving, and we can be proactive in rezoning those neighborhoods right now before anyone moves in. And we need to do things like that before we have to rezone the cities where the children are already in schools. We have a Hickory issue, and we're looking to do an addition to Hickory. And I, along with a couple other board members, said, hey, before we rezone that area, let's get the addition put on, and then let's see where we are. We've done great things in Chesapeake as far as our schools. We've done a wellness center where it's saved the school division millions of dollars. It's helped our school employees thousands of dollars a year. We've lowered our budget. We manage our money. Our superintendent is the most phenomenal person when it comes to financial. He's a financial wizard. We don't micromanage him, but we oversee that budget, about $440 million a year. We oversee that. We do the right thing in Chesapeake. I wish you would be more specific because I'd like to answer a question. I'm not afraid. People are going to like me. People aren't going to like me. When you're in politics, you have to have no fear and have thick skin.
You have no fear.
And I would love to talk to people. I love to talk to people. Whether you agree with me or not, I'm here to serve you, and I'm here to serve all the people. And I'm going to do that as the commissioner. It's going to be customer service friendly.
Right.
And
so the gentleman you're running against, your opponent in this primary, I've never met him because I've never seen him at a Republican event ever. I've never seen him at a meeting. I've never seen him at the committee. I've never seen him as a volunteer. I've never seen him in any campaign. I've never seen him in a rally. I've never seen him at anything. Zero zilch. So this is another entitlement thing. So he was the deputy of Ray Connor. I don't even know if he's a Republican. I've certainly never seen him do anything to help the cause. And now all of a sudden they think that he's entitled to the job because he's part of the cabal. There's something the matter with this. This is stuff that drives me bananas. Here's a guy running for a Republican office that has done zero to advance any of the things that we believe in other than sit there and get a paycheck and do his job like everybody else. How do you reward that? Like, you get paid, you do nothing for the party, for Republicans, for conservatives, for Trump, for anybody. You do nothing. You show up at nothing. You do nothing, and now you're going to be rewarded with a nominee because you happen to be part of the establishment cabal. How does that work?
I am a positive person. I always, my glass is always half full. And so with my opponent, I can honestly say I am the only candidate in this race that has advanced Republican principles, that has worked in the trenches for our Republicans.
Done fundraisers,
lit drops.
Walk doors, knocked on doors, done
phone banking,
lit drops.
Used my home as a headquarters for many of those elected officials. I have scars from stuffing envelopes, putting signs together, going out at 2 and 3 in the morning, putting up the signs at the polls. Working the polls. I worked the polls this year. It was so important to me to work those polls for Trump and for Marty Williams for Congress. He's my good friend. He's a huge supporter of mine. I've worked the polls for Robert Ike and my boss, Cinder Cosgrove, and when he was a delegate. And there's not an elected official in Chesapeake that I have not 100% given everything I have to get them elected. And I am the only candidate that can say that in this race.
That's why I'm such an enthusiastic backer of Christie Newcraig for the Republican nomination for Commissioner of Revenue of Chesapeake, because she's a true conservative that has worked in the trenches with me, side by side, and with many of you, and her opponent hasn't done jack. and he's simply part of the establishment Chesapeake cabal that think they can just send an email and control everything with a handful of people and kick people out instead of welcoming them in. And I'm just sick of the whole thing. And you got to take a stand. You got to start electing people at the local level as Republicans that have some kind of a belief system, that believe in our movement, and for these people that just are entitled to these offices because they happen to have been there and they haven't done crap. I'm sick of that. And let's see, Tim in Virginia Beach says, hey, John, tell Christie that Tim Davis used to be the zoning administrator in Chesapeake and says hello and says good luck. And this is Tim Davis in Chesapeake. And he said, that's me. I'm retired now and wish you all the best. You are very well qualified. Tim Davis.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate your confidence. I won't let you down.
And this from Glenn in Chesapeake. Glenn says, John, tell Christie she will be an advocate for the taxpayers of Chesapeake and provide excellent customer service for them. Glenn says, I'm for Christie New Craig. So there, you're already starting a little groundswell here.
Great. And for Brenda, please give me a call. My cell number is on the school board website. I would love to talk to you about your issues or what you think I have not done or that you're disappointed in.
I've got time, I think, for one caller if we can get them right on. Okay, Mike, the Republican. Mike, you got the final word here on a Friday. You're on the air.
Yes, this is a word to the young lady there. I can't vote for you, but as a Republican from Portsmouth, I would say Godspeed to you. Remember one thing, don't stay in that office too long. Move up higher because we need more powerful Republicans. Have a nice day.
Thank you, and I love Portsmouth as well. I have family there. Thank you.
Okay.
See, Mike ending the day with the positive flow of energy. Mike, the Republican in Portsmouth, ending us here on a great note. Thank you, Mike.